That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool, really cool
I
project.
mean, it's always good to look at the similarities, not the
Absolutely.
differences. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
when you do look at the similarities, you know, there's always I mean, in West Africa we have the Jollof Wars, and I know in the Middle East there are the Hummus Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's all the same thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Afro Soul Stories. This afternoon, I am joined by an artist, a rapper, an activist, and a gentleman from Mozambique whose name is MoYah. How are you, sir?
I'm very well.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you for the invitation.
Cool. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Your story is so interesting. In Mozambique and then through Portugal, and as a refugee, working in activism, and obviously as a musician. Yeah, tell me about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I was born in Mozambique 7 years after we gained our independence from Portugal.
Sure.
So it should have been really a time where Mozambicans ideally would be coming together and figuring out how they wanted to govern the country outside of colonialism. But there was a civil war between two political parties, an internal war, which was still orchestrated by external powers, as always.
Yeah.
And that led to this civil war that lasted 15 years, just under 16 years.
Wow.
So I was born right in the middle of that. And it was a difficult time for everybody. And it got to the point where it became extremely dangerous, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And my parents decided that it was time for us to flee.
Yeah.
So we fled as political refugees and migrated to Portugal. And that's where I resided until I was 10 years old. And then at the age of 10, I moved to UK.
Wow, yeah. That's a really, really amazing, you know, movement. Now, English is not your first language, I would assume.
No, Portuguese
Because you
is.
rap in English, and you rap very well in English.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, what has, how did you come to music? And obviously these whole experiences, they really come across in your music and lyrically. So how did music come into your life?
Yeah, I come from a very musical family, actually. My father used to be in a band.
Cool.
With my uncle, and he's got a great voice, so him and my uncle used to be in a band. And then my mother loved music. There's not a day that would go past where she wouldn't be playing music in the house. And actually, music played a really significant role growing up because we didn't have access to Mozambican literature.
Right, of course.
And
Music
history, exactly.
It was the communication.
Yeah, food and music really played a big role in terms of understanding our identity, understanding where we came from, and also what was going on in Mozambique. And we grew up listening not only to Mozambican music, but there is this term in the Portuguese language called PALOP, and it's an acronym for, if I translate it to English, ultimately is African-speaking countries.
Sure.
Sorry.
Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa.
Yes, exactly. Portuguese-speaking countries in the African continent.
Right.
So we're talking about Angola, Mozambique, Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, São Tomé and Príncipe. Yeah, so
now I remember the countries now.
Yeah. So that kind of Afro-Portuguese migrant community in Portugal, we grew up listening and being inspired by music from all of those countries.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And my father also used to play a lot of music and make me sit down and listen to it. And he would show me, my father's always been very politically aware of things. And he would play me even a lot of Brazilian music from Nordeste. And he would play me artists, and he would be like, listen to what he's saying. He's addressing the corrupt regimes or speaking out against corrupt governments and stuff. So I understood from a young age that music could be used as a tool, not just for entertainment, but education, empowerment, bringing people together, forwarding message. So when hip hop came into my TV screens, which is like the late 90s, I was completely blown away. Not because of the message at the time, because they were rapping in English, so I couldn't understand what they were saying, but there was just this sense of pride that they were radiating that really impacted and empowered me.
Yeah.
Because before that, you wouldn't see black people on Portuguese national television depicted in a positive way. You'd always see like them as cleaners or road sweepers, you know, those kind of small, low-paid jobs, never in positions of power. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing people like Queen Latifah wearing these,
powerful,
strong, powerful, wearing these big African pendants and like African fabrics. Now, I didn't understand what she was saying, but her body language said so much. Plus, they're wearing these African pendants, and I knew I was from that continent. So then I fell in love with the culture and the sound. But once I moved to UK and my English started developing, I was able to understand that a lot of the topics that they were addressing in rap songs was things that I could relate to and was going through on a day-to-day basis.
Of course, that's amazing. Now, I alluded to the fact that you rap in English. So Portuguese being your, and I love music in Portuguese. I mean, I love Brazilian music. It's a very singing language, you know. So yeah, how did that transition into identifying as being, because now you are Mozambican, Portuguese, British.
Yeah.
How did that?
I guess once I started writing, I mean, I wrote poems and things in Portugal, but when I started taking things more serious, English was the dominant language which I communicated with. And having left Portugal at the age of 10, my vocabulary was still very limited. So as I became more socially conscious and political, there was just a lot of terminology that I wasn't used to saying. So English, I find it much easier to articulate myself in the English language. But then that also changed, and because it got to a point where I was like, I want to bring more of my African identity into my music, sonically, but also lyrically. So hence why I kind of draw and start putting more Portuguese in there. That was the first step. And then now trying to incorporate more words using the language of my father, which is Ndao.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's so beautiful, man. Now, I've noticed. Okay, so I've been reading your bio, and I've read a lot about you, and I know that you call yourself an interfaith artist, and I know that's a large part of who you are. So, are your family Christian? Are they Muslim? Is there a combination?
Yeah, I wouldn't even call myself an interfaith. Well, I have done a lot of interfaith work, and I actually co-founded the first ever Muslim Jewish hip hop duo in this country. So my father was interesting because my father's mother was Muslim, and my father's father was Catholic.
Right.
So he kind of grew up in the middle. My mother just believed in God.
Spiritual.
Spiritual. And but Portugal, I mean Mozambique. At the time that my parents grew up, I would say it was a very kind of Catholic country, but very mixed as well, depending on the cities. My father always taught me and my sisters that faith is a very personal relationship. So he never imposed anything on us. He said, once you're old enough and you want to go on your journey,
figure it out.
And I really respected that. I myself personally became a born-again Christian when I was like 13 years old. And then by the time I was 17, I kind of started looking into other things and going on my own journey. Then eventually converted to Islam. But I met this Jewish rapper who was also... at the time, I was a youth worker. He was a youth worker. We were both event organizers, and we were both studying a lot of, comparative religion. And we saw a lot of intersections between both faiths in terms of
so many similarities.
Right. The morals, the teachings, and that kind of stuff. So we decided to start this group called Lines of Faith. And the aim was really to kind of break the barriers and stereotypes and try and bring both communities together. And we would deliver a lot of educational workshops in Muslim schools, Jewish schools.
That's fantastic, man.
It was cool. It was a cool, really cool project.
I mean, it's always good to look at the similarities, not the differences.
Yeah.
When you do look at the similarities, there's always I mean, in West Africa we have the Jollof Wars, and I know in the Middle East that the Hummus Wars.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's all the same thing,
exactly.
It's all the same thing. And I think that that's such a powerful thing, man. And I know in your journey that you've done a lot of activism and work with young people and work on education. So talk to me about that.
I guess my music has always been kind of connected to that, and my music has always been a reflection of my beliefs and things that I've desired to do to try and help underrepresented, marginalized communities. And then my activism work was just like an extension of that as well. Sometimes using my platform as a musician to address things, whether it's through my music or fundraising for certain organizations. And there's been so many projects involved. I'm honored to kind of, to participate in that. And I mean, there's just way too many to mention, but it's just an extension of, I guess, who I am.
Yeah. Okay, now let's get to the music.
Okay.
Right, okay. I've been listening to your music for the past 48 hours. I've been very happy about it.
No, thank you.
And okay, so recent songs that have really jumped out to me. Tabonga, this is the recent single. Man, that's just some catchy shit, man.
Yeah.
That's a great song. Yeah. So talk to me, what does Tabonga mean? We talked about
so Tabonga is an Ndau word. And it's really, Ndau and Zulu is super similar because they're both from that same region. I think in Mozambique we say Tabonga, in Zulu they say Tabonga.
Right,
so it's almost slightly different. But it means thank you. And it is a song which ultimately it is about my personal journey as a refugee fleeing war and the obstacles that I faced in Portugal as a migrant. But it's not a song of pity. It's a song of celebration, joy. It's a song, not just my celebration, but celebration of the resilience that we have as a people. We just keep overcoming these obstacles.
Yeah, of course.
And it's a song that features my brother from Angola called Don Jagger, remarkable musician. Remarkable singer, so I'm very honored to create that with him.
No, that's the recent track that I've been listening to, and I know it's the recent single that you've had on. I've been listening to everything. So prior to that, Changes and Ke Ke Passa. Let's talk about those. So Ke Ke Passa, I'm thinking, is that what's happening?
Yeah.
My limited Portuguese.
Exactly. And what's interesting is Ke Ke Passa initially was created in Accra.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, you with my people, though.
I was there with the Human Relief charity. We're doing some work in building water filtration systems in Tamale.
I lived in Tamale for a year.
Oh, cool. Hot.
Yeah, hot.
Very
dry,
hot.
Dry.
Amazing shea butter.
Yes, amazing shape. The raw stuff.
Yeah. And then after everyone left, I was like, I'm going to stay an extra week, man. So I met some really cool Ghanaian musicians. There were also Nigerian musicians that live in Accra.
Of course.
And one day we just went to the studio and just started vibing, and Ke Ke Passa came out. So that was that. Very cool. It's I guess it means what's going on. But I try to create music that people can dance to.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely get it. It's got an energy.
But then it still has these strong political messages. And this is me being inspired by people like Fela.
Yeah, of course.
And so even I remember as an artist, there was a point in my life where I would try to explain to people the sound that I was looking for, and I would say, imagine if Jay Dilla and Fela Kuti came together.
Had a baby.
Exactly. That's so that would be like my reference point. And I wanted to create music that was bouncy, had a positive feel, but then I'm still inserting like strong political messages.
Very, very cool. No, I mean, I'll have your playlist obviously in the information section.
Thank you.
And I will encourage people to listen. Let's talk about Changes.
So Changes, I'm featured in a song. The song is originally by my good friend and brother called Patch the Salis, a Bristol-based rapper, and produced by Wolfie D. And then on the vocals, you got Veers. And it was interesting. Patch wrote the verse and he sent it to me, and I had it for a good few months. And for some reason, I was really struggling to kind of write my verse. As a rapper, sometimes I go through these kind of right, these blocks. And then I lost 2 members in my family and was going through a lot, and I was just able to channel all of that into music, and that's one of the things that I love about music, becoming that outlet. Becoming that outlet for us to, and that came out, and it's a beautiful track which I'm very proud of.
No, I mean, when I listen to everything, everything is upbeat. Everything has an energy to it, but there's also a message in everything, which I think is really, really, really powerful. Now, I alluded to one track which I really loved the content of, and it was a collaboration with various people. A track called "Silence is Consent."
Yeah.
Now, you said this was something that was done a little while back.
Yeah, that track is over 10 years old.
But it's very relevant today.
It shows that the problems are continuing.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How did that come about and the collaborations involved?
Yeah, so that track is a collaboration with myself and a female hip hop duo called Poetic Pilgrimage.
You were amazing.
Yeah, really dope. Yeah. And it was produced by a producer called Beat Thief. And I think we wrote it at the time where there was another conflict between Palestine and Israel, and we were just like really frustrated by the way that Arab leaders were responding to this situation, or not responding to this situation. And but it's crazy that after over a decade,
we're still relevant.
It's still so relevant.
Yeah, because I mean, when I heard that, I was blown away by it. The people that you, the collaborators, what are they called again? Female?
Poetic Pilgrimage.
Poetic Pilgrimage. Yeah, I'm gonna be listening to them this afternoon because it was such a powerful message, and so relevant in today's world. And I think it's something that, as a musician, I think you've really found your voice for good communication. And I think that is so important in the world. It really, really is. So what's happening in the future for you?
So many things. Live shows, yes. I will be headlining a arts activism festival in London.
Very cool.
Taking place at Rich Mix.
Okay.
It's going to be on the 25th of October.
Cool. Very cool.
And I'll be headlining that with a full live band. So
Excellent.
I'm very, very excited.
Excellent. I'll have to come and check that out.
And doing a lot of projects back home in Mozambique. We are currently supporting a primary school.
Very cool.
By providing 420 free breakfasts every week.
Fantastic,
This is something that me and my father started like 3 years ago. Started off with 150 children, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing.
That's a wonderful thing. Yeah.
So, there's projects that I'm doing back home, projects here. Co-running a educational project called Hip Hop Garden.
I saw something. You guys are doing some planting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if you know, but the environmental sector is the second least racially diverse sector.
Really?
And this is despite people from the global south being the stewards of the earth.
Of course, yeah.
But when it comes to environmental conversations, it's often run by middle class Caucasian men.
Yeah, of course.
So one, we're just trying to get people, especially the most underrepresented communities, to get in touch with nature.
Yeah, of course.
It has a massive impact on your well-being.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we're running various projects, myself and my colleague Solomon. So which he founded it. Made Project Gardens initially in London, and now we're running projects in Bristol. We've just started a project in Gloucester, and it's really good to see young people connecting with the earth, thinking about how it's impacting their well-being, connecting with nature, and creating some dope raps as well.
Yeah, cool, man.
So it's
That's
fun.
Cool. That's so cool. I love that. I worked on a TV show called Foodies in Ghana, where we had it was a live action and animation show, and it was educating people about food nutrition.
Nice.
And it was aimed towards kids, and it was really, really cool. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
So I love projects like this. It's so important. It really, really is. Now, so now you mentioned that you were in Ghana. So you're from Mozambique, but you seem to have a connection to the continent as a whole. How many other African countries have you experienced?
Okay, so I go regularly to Senegal every year, and Morocco as well every year. I follow a path of in Islam called Sufism.
Yeah.
So my Sufi teachers are based in a small village in a city called Kaolack, and the village is called Medina Bay. Okay. So I regularly go to Senegal and also Morocco, but I've spent some time in Egypt. I've been to Sudan to perform. I have been so many countries, which now it's kind of gone blank. Oh, I've been to Gambia.
Yeah.
I've been to Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast. Yeah, so there's a few countries that I've been to. Yeah,
that's wonderful. And how was your experience interacting with people in countries other than Mozambique? Yeah,
I love it, man. I feel at home. I love the African continent. And I love the warmth of the people. I love the pace.
Tranquilo.
Exactly. I love the food. I'm a foodie. My father's a chef by trade.
Fantastic.
And come from a line of just like amazing chefs. So I love the food, man. When I'm in Ghana, the wache, the shito, and the jollof, all of it. The peanut soup, all of it. I love the food. I've been to Nigeria as well.
Yeah, of course.
So I love the country, and at the same time, the things which I dislike, the corrupt regimes and stuff, I'm also aware and experience it. Sorry, Mauritania.
Okay. Mauritania is an interesting one.
Mauritania is a really... You know what? I'll tell you a story. I've never shared this on an interview. I remember I was doing a hip-hop tour. And the organizer of that tour was really amazing human being called Fouad Nahdi. He was the CEO of an organization called the Radical Middle Way. It was an amazing organization. He sadly has passed away, but at the end of the tour, he asked myself and a American rapper who was signed to, The Game. Yeah, he was like, what are you guys doing on Tuesday? So it's like in 2 or 3 days. And I was like, oh, I've got a workshop. And he's like, but can you move it? And I was like, yeah, I can move it. He's like, would you like to go to Mauritania? Just like that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. So he's like, okay, I'll call you tomorrow. And I was like 50-50. Is it going to happen? Like, that's not an everyday thing.
Of course, yeah.
And he literally called me tomorrow. He's like, is your passport on thing? Send me the details. Boom, 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 boom. The following day, he's like, oh, you're flying to Mauritania.
Wow. What was
for this Maulud. A Maulud is the celebration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad.
Wow, okay.
So we ended up going to Nouakchott, which is the capital of Mauritania, spend there a few days to this massive kind of conference, celebration, lots of talks and stuff. It was in a big football stadium, around 40,000 people. Wow, and then they had the guest speaker. And the cameras, so you've got these big screens where you can see whoever's speaking, wherever you see. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't broadcasting who was speaking. It was broadcasting the outside of the stadium. So it's like someone big and they want you to know. And loads of security pull up and you wouldn't guess who was the main speaker, who came.
So who came?
Colonel Gaddafi.
Hey, wow.
So then, he came, led us in prayer and started, and actually his whole speech was very like pro-Palestine, stuff like that. And
he was a big Pan-Africanist as well.
Exactly. Very absolutely. So it was a kind of interesting, it was a kind of interesting situation.
I traveled through Mali.
Okay.
And I've been to Timbuktu and I've been to Dogon country.
Okay.
Around there. So I know a little bit about that sort of part of the world, but I've never been to Mauritania. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
That's one country that I really want to go to, man. The kora is my favorite instrument, and artists like Tumani Jabeti and Omar Sangare, all of those musicians. Really, that for me, it's like wow.
The music in Mali is absolutely amazing.
Incredible, incredible.
It really is, and they say that the roots of the blues have come from Mali. That 1-4-5 structure is all from Mali, and again the griot tradition. Of storytelling, which I think alludes to what you do. The power of music and the words within music to tell stories and to make sure that generations can have those stories. Yeah, that's really powerful stuff. Now, I was reading in your bio that you've appeared with Nas and Talib Kweli. Talk to me about this. Yeah, how did these come about?
With Nas, it was actually a festival that was taking place in Washington, D.C. at the Kennedy Center. And
is it still called the Kennedy Center?
Say that again?
You know Trump's trying to change the name.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
We'll get to that.
Oh, crazy.
We'll gloss over that.
So it was a festival that was, I believe it was running for like 2 weeks, and it was through a US-based label, really, really dope label called Nomadic Wax.
Cool.
amazing label, and I really loved like just their model. And yeah, we were invited to perform, and it was crazy. Nas was performing with a full orchestra,
Yeah,
so that was crazy. But yeah, I've had the opportunity to tour US a few times,
Yeah, that's
and
very cool.
it's crazy when you meet the artists that heavily inspired you and you
Yeah.
looked up to your whole life.
Yeah,
So it's,
absolutely. Now, you're based in Bristol.
yes,
Okay, so now Bristol's an amazing music city because obviously Massive Attack,
That's right.
Portishead, there's
That's
some
right,
great
that's right.
bands from
Yeah,
Bristol.
yeah.
I've actually never been to Bristol.
oh man,
So talk
you
to
got
me.
open invitation.
There you
Yeah,
go.
anytime you want to come,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. So talk to me about the music scene in Bristol and how that's impacted you and how do you feel? What's
I
going
love
on?
I love first of all, Bristol's an amazing city.
Yeah, I've heard.
It's really, really friendly. I really like the pace of Bristol. It's got a very community spirit, and when you want to create things, I feel like it happens a lot easier. But like amazing music from drum and bass to like everything. And I've actually started a new Afro fusion band in
Very
Bristol.
cool.
So
Yeah.
great musicians, and actually, yeah, we're going to be playing together
Very cool.
at the event on the 25th. But yeah, really, really diverse music scene, and just really, really cool spots and venues. I'd highly recommend people to go and check out Bristol.
One day I'm going to come down. Yeah, because I mean, for me, Massive Attack were obviously a huge influence, and I know Bristol has quite a diverse community of people, and it's somewhere that I've always wanted to visit to check out the scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
So your family moved to Bristol, and
It was myself and my wife.
Okay.
So she's African Caribbean, but was born in Bristol.
right. So she had family.
Yeah. So she was born and raised in Bristol, and then came to London for university, and we met. So we used to go back to Bristol every now and then, and then eventually, 4 years ago, decided to make that
the
move. Yeah.
No, that's great because I mean I think London's wonderful, but now it's the cost of living and everything, and I think that you can get so much done when you're not in London because you're not worrying about certain financial things. You can kind of be more creative. Yeah, that's very cool. Oh man, this has been really wonderful. Now, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Anything coming up for yourself, and anything you want to touch on?
Just a lot of shows, a lot of projects, workshops. This year, myself and my colleague Carlota Matos, we launched Refugee Week Festival.
Cool.
In Portugal. So Refugee Week is a festival that initially started in UK, possibly around 20 years ago or 20 something years ago. Started off with one event, and now it's like over 3,500 events that take place over a week.
Wow.
And it's branched off from Refugee Week UK to now Malta, Italy.
Wow.
Loads of countries are doing this. So we decided to kind of bring it back to Portugal. For me personally, it was really important because growing up as an African in Portugal, I experienced a lot of racism.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly thinking of ways that I can't do nothing about my past experiences, but I know that migration is a human experience, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I wanted to try and celebrate the contributions of migrant and refugee communities in Portugal, as you're seeing throughout of Europe. Right-wing parties are becoming more and more powerful.
Prevalent, yeah.
So by trying to create this festival, we wanted to really break stereotypes and bring communities together.
Yeah, of course, because I think, often in mainstream media, the negative portrayals are the portrayals that are pushed, and too often the positive portrayals aren't even talked about.
Exactly.
And there's so much positivity that has happened in the past and is happening and will happen in the future from people of that background and of various backgrounds that through whatever war or discomfort in their home countries have been forced to move.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's a really positive thing, man. That's wonderful. Yeah. Man, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
The pleasure's mine. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm so glad we could do this because this is the first time we've met.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and instantly I like you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, vice versa.
And instantly I think that what you're doing is really important. And you're doing it in a way that I can get down to as well, which is great. The music.
And I look forward to hearing some of your music as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you some links.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. MoYah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Awesome.